Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Is it working now?
Down is up.
Yeah. Yep.
I'd like to start with fun with two questions that come from John Percy. And the first question is, what class of variable star is most numerous amongst the very brightest stars? The answer is the Beta Cepheids. The second question is, what class of variable star is probably unfamiliar to most AVSO observers? And the answer, again, obviously, is the Beta Cepheids. So what are these stars? Well, these stars are monsters. They're very big. They're very hot. They're located in the upper left of the HR diagram, just off the main sequence. They're about 10 to 20 times the mass of the Sun. Surface temperature, 20 to 30,000 degrees Kelvin. Pulsating variables with periods of 0.1 to 0.3 days. Radial velocity is very large. Visual amplitude is very small. And the greatest flux is in the greatest amplitude is both found in the UV. And just to titillate Mike Simonson, the stands. We know that the engine that drives most pulsators is the ionization energy of hydrogen and helium. These stars are way too hot for that to be, and so in fact it is found that it is actually the ionization of iron causing these stars to pulsate. So just like Bobby the robot here, these stars are pumping iron. Some of these stars exhibit a secondary pulsation mode that comes right after the first one, so it's just sort of like a lub-dub of listening to a human heart, and that effect is often called the beat effect. So I thought this looked like an interesting category of stars for an old biologist like me to look into, and so I looked at PW Vulpecula, and as you can see, it is a Beta Cepheids. It has a V magnitude of about 6.5 with an amplitude of about a fourth of the magnitude, a period a little less than 5 hours. I looked the star up in the AID, and I found in the last 20 years there was just a few visual observations of this star. And in the last couple of years, the original Bright Star Monitor had a few CCD observations, and that was all that was there. Granted, there may be some databases, but that's all was in the AID. So I thought this would be a good star to study, and I submitted a. The other thing that intrigued me, the last image in Mike's presentation was the Veil Nebula, I believe. And that's something that you probably all looked at many times at star parties. It's one of those beautiful objects in the sky. And PW Vulpecula is right on the edge of the Veil Nebula. So you probably all looked at the star right past it hundreds of times and never given it any consideration. So I thought this would be an interesting star. As I said, I submitted a proposal to the AVSO net, which was approved November the 5th. And I immediately discovered that there were problems. I looked at the photometry table in DSP and found it was blank. Okay, so this was with the B filter. This was the basic ensemble, and you can see with the B filter, the star promptly bloomed. And so we ended up with the 10-second exposures to get things to work. 110 exposures between mid-December and mid-January. Obviously, a work in progress. And at that point, this was from Bill Stein's Bright Star Monitor in New Mexico, and his mount fried, I believe, late January. So hopefully we'll be back up soon. As I said, this is a work in progress. This is a phase plot with the B filter. this is not corrected yet to the center of the sun. It's still a work in progress, and we need a lot more data to be able to create a model of the light curve. Amplitude here is about a quarter of a magnitude. The B filter images, I think, is going to be a little more interesting. The amplitude is about 50% greater. The still stands tend to occur, hasn't filled in yet, but just before T max. And that has a tendency of distorting T max. So the other part of this project, besides getting a nice light curve, is to be able to get as many times of T max, actually T min, because it's a much sharper point here, and look for long-term radiation in the star. 1993, Sturken published a composite of many ephemerae of the star and calculated the O minus C curve, which is parabolic, but we really don't know what's going on after 1993. So I'm hopeful that I can get at least 30 T-mins over the next year and can fill in this O minus C curve. And with that, I will conclude and ask if anybody can identify the movie that fills it. Exactly. In my opinion, this was the greatest of all sci-fi movies. It was based upon my favorite Shakespearean play, which was The Tempest. I have a friend, Karen Olmsted, who collects old posters from old movies, and I showed her this slide, and she says she would love to have, if she could find an original of this poster, because this is a very collectible type of poster known as a GGA poster, Glamour Girl Art Poster. And I'd appreciate any suggestions on the project or questions.
Again, please raise your hand and I'll bring you the microphone. Oh, thank our speaker. Anyone questions, comments?